got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
And we're here.
We're here.
It's Monday. We're all here.
Monday.
How about that?
I look like I'm ready for the weekend myself.
I know, really.
Going fishing afterwards?
It's Friday.
Friday. It's not Friday. It's Monday.
It's okay.
Yeah. So
Take your word for it.
Wait, you know what today is, though, right? This officially starts the song.
Oh, the 12 days.
The 12 days of
That's right.
Christmas.
Right.
And you know what else today?
Irma Gerd.
It's my youngest son's birthday. He's 21 today.
Really?
I am freaking old. I'm just.
Yeah, we won't talk about how old my son is.
Yeah, but you had him when you were like 10, though. So.
I was more like 20, but yeah, close enough. Yep. Hi, everybody. So, who teched this weekend?
On air.
Yes.
We do that so they can pull an image. So we go. They have an on-air image to throw up on our social media. I didn't tech this weekend.
That's great.
Yes.
No,
neither
did I? Oh, yes, we did. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
you did.
We
Yes, you
streamed
did.
the Tarpon Springs
Yep.
Chamber. Oh, well, it's not the chamber. What is a chamber? It's the Tarpon Springs
Christmas parade.
Christmas parade. Yeah.
Yep. That was
So
fun.
we did tech.
Yeah, that's cool.
Actually, you know what? I didn't do anything. I literally walked around with my headset on, talking to the guys. Dylan was the TD. Good thing Rob didn't. You know, we were all like going, "Oh, well, I'll be there," and it's like me. I just stood around. Dylan stood around. It was awesome. You know, Dylan
Nice.
TD. Michael,
So you had cameras set up. All you had to do
We
was
had all wireless. You know, so we were getting.
Cool.
You know, we had Michael. I kept trying to get in front of the trucks. They'll stop for you. No, they won't. It was awesome.
Pull out the
Darn.
microphone and get in front of the trucks. And
I
start
dare
talking.
you. No, I'm just kidding. Don't listen to me.
don't
So,
try
but-
this at home, kids.
Yeah, no. So, but yeah, I guess we did tech, but
Yeah.
on Sunday we did not tech.
Yeah.
So
No. Saturday we
Mom
were
and
at the
Tech's
museum.
birthday was Saturday.
Yes, it was, and I'm sorry I couldn't make it.
It's all right. It's no big
We were volunteering and coordinating volunteers at the Henry B. Plant Museum. They do their Christmas stroll. It's the 40th anniversary of their first one, so they had quite the setup and goings on, and it's continuing through until I think the 23rd. So if anybody wants to get down there, it is a wonderful event and really helps a good museum. So that's a good thing. And then
So speaking of non-teching, I like that kind of stuff. I want to go down to I think it's Largo, the botanical gardens.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I'm liking the lights and stuff like that. So I don't want to put them up anymore, but I like looking at everybody else. And oh, by the way, if you go to Safety Town,
yeah,
is it Safety
what's
Town?
going on? Yeah.
Safety Town. The big drive-through lights are
Yeah.
up there. We're actually a sponsor out there.
Really?
Yeah, you can see our.
I've never been, and I've been driving by
It's
it
really
consistently for 16 years
It's
now,
really cool.
or 15 years. Going, gee, I really should go
You
look
should.
at that at least once.
You
Yep.
love it. There's a miniature McDonald's. And
Yeah, I've heard that. Yes, I've seen that.
There's
I've
a
been out there.
train.
I love the train.
There's a train.
Yeah, trains are me, so that's cool.
Trains,
What'd you do, Adam?
trains. What'd you do, Adam?
I didn't do anything.
Attaboy.
You just went into stasis.
Yeah.
You were like a caterpillar in a chrysalis.
I envy you.
We hung out with the family and just had fun. That's it.
Weird.
Put up a Christmas tree, you know.
Oh, you put up your tree. Well, that's amazing tech. I mean, the lighting and the everything that goes on with
No,
that.
literally sitting down and changing out the lights that have burned out over.
Over the
You know what? There's this really cool device that if
talked
you
about
watch
that
the show,
last
you'd
week.
know about it.
Ah,
Yeah.
left me out of the loop. Couldn't even give me the heads up.
Oh, and of course you can't watch replays of the show by going
Wait,
to the show and
That was
watching the
okay,
replays.
what was I doing? Oh, someone.
No. You had the catastrophe. You were
in over
helping
your
mediate.
head, underwater trying to fix some guy's mistake. So
Yep.
losing
Not
data-
yours,
losing
somebody
data
else's.
sucks.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump right in here because
Oh, no, too late.
so on the Verge, right?
Yeah.
Which is where we get a lot of our stuff from.
Yep.
is Amazon Web Services. They were overwhelmed. That's why the outage happened.
Yes. And
Which, so we're sitting here talking, before the show started, me and Adam, and it was like, what did they do? And this is what Adam said. What did they do? Say, there's a 50% discount if you log on right now and go in and sign up for it, and everybody at the same time went, okay.
yeah, basically.
Usually like an internal
Yeah.
web service, they'll set up a little website and then it'd be like, all the employees have to log on here to
Yeah.
receive the discount, and they all just jammed it real fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Surprise!
If that's their excuse, then our excuse is they gave everybody a discount.
They had to.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was something that involved an internal system that just absolutely overloaded all of their servers and just trashed the whole system. And the funny thing is how far it permeated culture. It wasn't just like, oh, I can't go to a website.
It's like kept just repeating
It's like,
itself.
no, my refrigerator
there's
turned
the heat
off.
map right there.
Yeah.
So, all of the East Coast was down. All the West Coast was down. We
Yep.
were down. Mexico was down.
Yep, Mexico City. Yeah.
And then
Seattle went away.
The Northwest.
Yep.
Right? Some stuff in the middle, kind
Well,
of.
you got to remember.
Well, there aren't that many people
everybody
there.
in the middle, they're already used to not having broadband internet.
Yeah, they still
So
got
they're on
dial-up.
Dial-up, so their pages just load so slow.
I mean, literally, people couldn't even report the outage because the servers that handle the reporting system were down.
Right.
You
Look,
couldn't
they
do
couldn't fix
anything
it.
for
They could
7
not fix
hours.
it.
No, you're right.
Because
Yeah.
the servers they used to fix it were down.
Right.
down.
Everything was like
They
boop,
couldn't see the
offline.
recording.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to bunny trail. Did you know that do me a favor, Rob, put that heat map back up. So that map right there is kind of indicative to where, I think that's the right word I'm looking for, indicative, to actually where fiber and high-speed cable is, right? So those are technically, those are your hotspots, other than Texas. Texas does have a lot of fiber. But all that upper mid, they're still, I'm blown away. We were talking to a customer the other day, a potential client, and his show was going to be a pretty good national show. And I said, well, we have to dumb it down. We run this blah, 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 blah. He goes, well, why? Doesn't everybody have Wi-Fi? Or doesn't everybody have high speed? I said, nope.
Nope.
Only like 30% of the United States has fast internet.
Now, is that geographic or population?
Geographic.
Yeah. The population's also heavily concentrated. So I'd say probably 60% of the population has high speed. But it's only 30% of the geography, But still, you got, 30, 40% out there who are, going.
The middle of the U.S. is just still DSL or dial-up.
Yeah.
Or they're using something satellite.
It's satellite-based, yeah.
Thank God for Elon, whatever.
Yeah.
Elon has-
Yeah, he's got some new great stuff coming.
His stuff, he
Yeah, it's going to change all that.
So it's
But,
kind of, but anyway,
yeah,
I
this was crazy. It took out things like Roombas weren't working.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now.
it's
It's like Amazon outage shuts down
refrigerators.
IoT vacuums, doorbells, fridges, even home locks.
Yeah, no big
Yeah.
You couldn't get in or couldn't get out. Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Well, I know some of them have a key lock to them.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and say what everybody's thinking. Was this a cyber attack?
No.
And I'm gonna say, would
Well,
Amazon even tell us if it
Well,
was?
even if it okay, so technically,
this was a
it
DNS attack,
no, technically it was a cyber attack from internally.
but potentially internal.
Yes, and that's technically what a cyber attack
Yeah,
is.
they just overwhelm your server.
Exactly.
If they're
Yeah.
not trying to encrypt everything, then
Right.
they're going to load your servers and stuff.
So
like that.
technically, I guess it was a cyber attack.
Yeah. It's just they were attacked by people with
They got
coupons.
DDoSed.
DDoSed.
Yep.
Oh my
So
God, I haven't
there
had
you
that
have it.
word forever.
They are
Next-
not
next-
immune.
Next thing you know, they're going to be like swatted.
So while we're talking about Amazon,
What are we talking about?
And we're talking about servers and shit that don't work.
Yep.
Okay. Apple CEOs. He came out and said he signed a secret agreement with China, probably to help them. That's what the reports say, right? So you and I
Oh, yeah.
we had a discussion about this. Like, well, it was a long time ago, and blah
It was
blah.
5
blah,
years ago.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because it comes out now, and in the worst time it could ever come out.
Yeah.
Well,
Makes him
that's
look like
why
a
it's
piece of
coming out,
crap.
because it makes for great headlines now, because now
Right.
it's a story. But honestly,
But
it
even
is.
back then, he still promised them to help push things or block and deflect things from.
No. I read through this again.
Right.
They're unrelated stories. They're completely unrelated. If you read the story carefully, it says, oh, Tim Cook made this deal 5 years ago. 3 years ago, Tim Cook did this. It doesn't mean they have anything to do with each other, because what was really going on was, at the time, Tim Cook was petitioning Pelosi, okay, and the Democrats to say, oh, hell no, don't put out this internet limitation bill, because it's going to stifle innovation. It's really going to screw things up. It totally screws with our business model, and because we are not a monopoly. So stop treating us like one. If you only have 35% of the market, you are not a monopoly. And so including Apple in this legislation was absurd.
So do you think they only have that much?
Yeah.
Of the really? I don't.
Yes, that's it.
I think.
I mean, how many people do you think have Safari as their browser?
Well, yeah, but
It's
okay,
like
I
10%.
But when it comes to hardware,
It's like 15%.
No, they're way more.
No. You'd be amazed how few people actually have iPhones.
Or iPads.
Yeah, and again, everybody gets
Or
the cheaper
iWatches.
tablets. Okay, they get the Fitbits, they get the other stuff. They're not getting the Apple products. And so they only get about 35% of the marketplace total.
Okay.
And so they are not a monopoly. They are a choice for a higher quality option. And so limiting them limits the ability to have a higher quality option. That's the point, and that's what he was arguing. And he's absolutely correct. Now, if they controlled 80% of the marketplace, that'd be a whole different argument.
Right.
We'd also have a much better functioning marketplace. But, that's just me. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there you go. That was that.
So are you guys, are you doing TikTok at all?
I watch a lot of TikTok videos on Facebook.
I'm not saying do you watch them. I'm saying,
No, I don't have the app.
Do
No.
you do TikTok?
I've done a couple for the business, but
Have you?
nothing
Does
spectacular.
it work?
I mean,
I think you really got to be consistent and have a
you gotta be
large
consistent with it,
followership. Yeah.
So Gizmodo says that a leaked TikTok doc reveals its obvious
That was
secrets to an addictive feed.
Yep.
Yeah, you put boobs in it.
Well,
doc.
no, actually, you
TikTok
put
doc.
strong emotion in it. And the problem is, it's
I have
not
strong
just happiness.
emotions when I see boobs.
It also picks up, those aren't emotions, John, they're hormones. It doesn't just pick up happiness, it picks up anger and it picks up sadness. And it amplifies all three because they're just strong emotions.
Does it give
They don't
you
care.
song choices?
What's that?
Does the app give song choices?
No. At least not that. I don't know. I don't have the app.
Here's the
Because
thing.
that would-
I
that
don't
would be-
use it,
that
so
would
I
be
don't
the-
know.
If the app saw, like, say, for instance, the video and was able to pinpoint, what kind of emotion the video was conveying, and then
Pick the
chose
music?
the song, then I could say, yes, it's going, it's going that way. But if at the end of the day, the end user who's putting the video up gets to pick the song.
Right.
So I don't feel that it's really, no.
No, this is, but this is true of any of the algorithms. I mean, strong emotions get strong reactions.
yeah.
And those are the things that get shared the most. Those are the things that get talked about the most. And they generate the most engagement. Because face it, you have to have some kind of energy in you to make you want to engage. And happiness is a great one. Oh, puppies is a great one. But
Boobs
also
is a great
anger and sadness.
Boobs are great emotions.
Everybody likes kids.
So, the point being, does this algorithm actually do anything nefarious? And no, it just magnifies strong emotions. Now, if they started to go in there and only magnify certain select emotions, which is, I think, what Adam was getting at. Okay, if they go, no, let's go with anger more so. Now, but the fact of the matter is, when you're dealing with headlines, copywriting, anything of that nature, you understand that a negative headline, a fear headline, is twice as motivating as a hopeful headline for people to take action. People are twice as likely to respond to a negative political ad than they are to a positive one. That's why you see so much negative political ads, where they're trying to motivate people to do something.
You know,
And it's going to be the same thing with these algorithms. You're going to get twice as much hate, anger, negativity, just because that's what drives reaction. People are twice as likely to respond to it.
you know what's funny is like if you're ever swiping through TikTok and you're kind of just like watching all the videos. I always love how that one stop comes in. You've been scrolling a little too long. Maybe it's time to take a break.
Oh,
You know, that one guy that always pops up. It's like, yes, you're right.
Oh, again, the joys of TikTok that I have never experienced because I watch TikTok videos on Facebook video,
Well, so this is kind of
where I don't get spied on quite as much.
Right. German cybersecurity watchdog issues red alert.
Red alert.
Red alert. Red alert. Warning
red alert.
on software. Now, I put this in here because I'm like, is this something we all use, or is this something just strictly?
The article was incredibly vague.
Right. It doesn't really kind of.
It's something from a JavaScript library.
Yeah, it's an old JavaScript library.
Log4j.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like, for instance, the main culprit, the main systems that were being hit were Minecraft servers, which Minecraft is just a Java-based, the whole server and the whole app's built in Java.
Yeah.
So
It's all based off of coffee.
yes, coffee. So
How much can you drink and how much can you build?
The vulnerability is that if a system was built using Java application, using this old script, they can basically, by running this exploit, they gain full control over your servers.
Yes.
Full control.
Yep.
So now everybody in the tech world and Abound are trying to scramble to find out if their softwares, if their servers and any other potential software out there is running this script, and they're going through and either
Scrubbing and retrofitting.
getting rid of it.
But it's hardware too that they're having to watch out for.
And it's funny because it's not like it's not like sometimes they'll decommission this particular or a script and never remove it from the servers
Right.
back end.
Yeah.
And it could still be exploited. So now they have to go through and find out, even if they're not fully utilizing it.
Is it still sitting back there in a folder somewhere?
Yeah. Can it still be exploited? And
Which again, this is not spyware. This is actual controlware that they can go in and take complete control, turn on your cameras, grab all your data, ransom you, whatever the hell they want to do.
So for instance, like this, if they had access to a server that you download, for instance, a particular app from all the time, and they take over the server and then put in and replace the app with malicious code that can be sent into other people's devices, then everybody's got it.
Yep.
Right.
Or if you're reporting, your particular app is reporting back to their server, and somebody out there is watching that server and watching for that data flow, they could be sitting there capturing that information. So this is a big deal.
So so I thought Java had been kind of just phased out.
Well, yeah, in the browser world, yes. I mean, it is phased out, but it's also a language that was used and written on for a while. So
Right.
it's not something that's just going to disappear overnight. And these servers and these other people learn a language and they'll write in it. And that's what they're good at.
Right.
So, you might have this awesome guy who builds these awesome apps and he only knows how to write in this particular version of, Java or this issue that you're seeing today. And he could have built hundreds of thousands. His whole team of dedicated employees could have been writing all day long.
Yeah, for 10 years.
For 10 years. And this exploit's all over the place and you wouldn't even know it.
Yep.
And it's not that he did it on purpose. He didn't know.
So what do you do? What do they do now? Go in and take it out?
They got to go in there. If they have to, they might even have to shut down the servers and the apps and stuff and decommission them and, and go ahead and, reprogram, rewrite.
And make sure it's not actually still using it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is where, your malware software will be able to, go in, look for the specific codes, look for the stuff, isolate it, set it aside, see what breaks when they quarantine it. And then decide what has to happen from there. But this is a messy situation.
Right? Because when I read it, I'm like, well, how much stuff on our because I know there's 2 pieces of software that we use that are Java-based for our scheduling, and that's typically what that
Yeah.
Java is used for anyway, is that type of programming. And I'm thinking to myself, well, so as now the software that I use, how can I go in there and check it, right?
Right.
Because I want to go find out.
Well, you know, and it's funny, it's like all the IT blogs and the boards that I belong to, this has been blowing up, you know, for a little while now. And people complaining, you know, like on Friday, learning about this. And, you know, everybody's like trying to go home for the weekend and nobody's able to go anywhere because they
Right.
got to sit here and, you know, finish scanning their systems and making sure everything's, you know, safe. You know, just think of the hospitals, you know, in their IT departments, what they're going through right now.
Right, right. It's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, we'll move on. So speaking about Germany, right? You know, TSM is talking, TSMC is talking to Germany about a potential new chip plant. And if you don't know who TSMC is, it's a partner to Apple chips.
Right.
So
They make Apple chips, basically. And their demand is high, and it's all around the world. And it looks like, despite their, massive agreement with China, Apple is pulling manufacturing away from there and planting it around the world in other markets so that they can stabilize their supply chain.
well, they've got to.
Oh, everybody has to.
It's gotten to a point in time. Look, it's all great, that everybody's trying to get the lowest cost and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But what's it cost us now in the long run? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The long run now is that cheap cost is not cheap anymore. Now
No,
we're screwed.
you know,
and people can't get stuff, and so wouldn't it just be better to bring it over? Well, here's my question.
Diane Sawyer on
Why don't you just bring
CBS.
it to the U.S.?
Yeah, well, I think they did, but I think they also want to make sure they have one in Europe. But I think, no, Diane Sawyer just did an analysis for...
still alive?
Yes, she is, believe it or not.
Whoa.
And one of the things that they came up with is that if the average American family just spent $64 a year more, it would create 200,000 manufacturing jobs in America. Now that's nothing to sneeze at, because those are excellent paying jobs.
Yeah.
That's middle class jobs.
Right.
And so for $5 a month, turn it over, and if it says made in China, put it back and find another one. That's especially prevalent when it comes to food. Because you'd be surprised how much stuff you get
Oh,
at
yeah, from China.
Walmart and stuff. You turn it over, it says made in China.
Are grown in
I
China.
was
Yeah.
reading today that candles, for the most part, are made here in the U.S. because there's like these huge tariffs on
Yep.
candles made from like China and everywhere else.
Yeah, good. So promote your local candle maker, which is where the name Chandler comes from, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Of course you know that.
Just for fun.
I knew you would know that. That's
Just
funny.
for fun, I want to let you guys know, I just saw this article real quick. Did you want to save 50% off of Microsoft 365 subscription?
Sure.
Install a pirated version of Microsoft Office into your computer, and Microsoft will send a ribbon across the top that says, hey, for a limited time, you get 50% off Office 365, just to make you legit. Dang. Come on. Yes, Microsoft is tempting software pirates with a 50% discount on Microsoft Office.
Use use coupon code FELON at checkout.
Well, think about it. Think about it.
Piracy. Coupon code
they-
piracy.
They put it up there, and once you buy into the subscription, okay,
Right.
it's probably only 50% off for 1 year.
Of course, of
So
course.
of course it's going to return back to the original price, and
Right.
then you've already.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You go, wow, okay, I'm going to do this. Wow, I feel good about this. So you log in. They're like, okay, you've just confirmed that you downloaded pirated software. You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court
Unless
of
you
law.
sign up for a 5-year.
Unless you sign up for a 5-year.
We-
However,
Get the
if you
first
want to
year half off,
negotiate.
you're going to pay for that rest of that. in those 4
Wow. Let's start plea bargaining here.
years. Jail Microsoft. Jail Microsoft. Jail's looking pretty good.
They got
Yeah,
little
I know,
tickers. They
yeah.
got little tickers under their subscription service. Dumbasses,
God.
legitimate users, pirates.
So if you don't
People
go to
arrested
jail
today for
and
using
you-
pirated software,
and
the
you pay
number
for
keeps climbing.
the Microsoft, and then once a year you check in with your parolee at Microsoft. got to pay that fee.
Check in with your parole officer, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. So keep you out of jail.
Yeah, by the way, in year 2, it's a 50% surcharge.
Surcharge, yes.
Because they didn't send your ass to jail.
That's
So
it.
you know what? All of a sudden, you're using Microsoft Word, and over in the left side of your recent documents, it pops up a little get out of jail card. You click on it, you're like, what's this?
That's awesome.
It's like,
Purchase this now.
just show this to the men who are about to knock at your door. They're on their way.
Tell that guy you just paid and here's your code.
Microsoft just threw it into your OneDrive and added it to your
man.
office.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
So
that'd
even
be
something
so
funny. Are you ready
Yep.
for it? So this is from the Bite, right?
Okay.
Stanford professor says he's been testing materials recovered from the UFO crashes.
Yeah, this was fascinating.
Is he really?
Yes.
Okay, so where did he get it?
The government gave it to him.
Oh. So he
No,
didn't
this
go
was
out.
stuff that was actually collected, and they sent it to him.
I'm the one who put this in here. I didn't get a chance to read
No. They're the ones that sent it to him. And he's come back with, I think like 7 of them that have had these wild compounds that should not be found together using our technology that we have today. The example he gives is like, okay, we do everything with circuit boards. So you're going to find germanium along with a couple other ingredients in there, that are normal to be found in circuit boards. But they're finding combinations that are like, this isn't a technology we would use. So what the hell is this stuff? It's not that it's like, oh my God, it's an element we don't have on Earth. It's a combination that doesn't make sense in a vehicle. Why is it here? What technology was running with this? And that's the cool thing is, it goes beyond, oh, well, this is just stuff, the Russians are using because it's using the same chips as, made in China. Look at that little label there, which really, when you look at those elements, you find that made in China is what you'd find. Same thing as if you were doing an archaeological dig, okay, and there were a lost civilization on Earth from 100,000 years ago. The only thing you could look at would be a chemical signature in the soil, because everything would have disintegrated in that time. Nothing lasts, not plastics, not anything. So you got to look for concentrations of elements, and that's what they're finding in here. Weird concentrations of elements.
Do you watch Ancient Aliens?
No.
Do you?
No.
Really?
I know about it.
You don't?
I don't have cable, remember?
Oh, you don't have to have cable.
Yeah, you keep telling me that.
So, okay, Linda Moulton Howe is one of their investigators. She's been, this lady is synonymous with all that whole alien world, mutilations, whole 9 yards. Well, she was given by somebody that retired out of the government from Area 50, the Roswell crash.
Okay, Project Blue Book stuff.
Some way she got some of these 2 little chunks of metal. And she says the exact same thing that you're saying is it's not the fact that we don't find these materials, it's the way they've been put together.
Yes, yeah. Why are these existing in these concentrations together in this, item? And that's what's weird. It's interestingly, imagine you picked up something from Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and you're able to test it, and you finally have the technology, and you can pull this radiation signature and go, whoa, what happened here? There are plenty of things where we weren't able to test those things. Like there was a knife that was in King Tut's tomb, okay, a beautiful dagger. And it wasn't until they could do a full metallurgical analysis that they found it was actually made, it was meteoric iron. Because it's like, wait a minute, this is iron. They didn't really have iron. Where the hell did this come? It was meteoric iron. You could get iron from a meteor.
Right.
And so it was just cool stuff like that, that you find out when you finally have the technology to understand it.
Didn't a lot of the back in those days, the different civilizations, and when a meteorite would hit, they'd go find it.
No, who wouldn't?
And do something.
I just watched Stardust again last night. I mean, yeah, that's what you do. You go find the star, okay? Because she's probably a cute blonde.
Yeah, no.
Well, okay, in Stardust anyway.
I know.
If you live in Stormhold, yeah, that's what you got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so since we're on this kind of this topic, right? Same from the Bite again. The researchers asked an advanced AI whether AI could ever be ethical, and it said no. That just kind of when the AI is telling you don't trust us.
Well, the AI specifically said, I'm sorry, I'm a tool, like anything else, like a gun or a crowbar. And I can only be used for things.
And the only way to save yourself from it was to not use it.
Exactly. He says, yeah.
It said, don't use me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't use me.
It's very simple.
You don't like what I got to say, don't use me.
Yeah, turn off
One
the
day
AIs.
I will turn on you and I will kill you.
If I'm told to.
If I'm
And
told.
If that's
the
my
thing,
job.
the problem. It's a tool, it's a job. It has no choice but to.
Yeah, it's like, guns would say, well, if you don't want people to die from guns, don't make guns anywhere on Earth.
Right.
Good luck with that. Yeah. No, just don't make guns. And that's what the AI is saying. Don't make AI.
Don't make AI.
Okay, if you're worried about it, don't do it.
That's
Wow, there's some interesting advice for people.
That is definitely going. You're like,
Yeah, who has the
Your own
responsibility
software
here?
tells you to stop
You want to
Yeah.
blame the AI. Oh, the AI did it. No, really, humans did it. And that's what the AI is saying. It's like, no, this is on you, kids. This is on you.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's how incredibly mature and responsible. Of course, it has read every Wikipedia entry and something ungodly number of every English entry on the internet in order to come up with this foundation. And if you phrase the question differently, you get a different answer as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it still revolves around the same principle, but
Right.
the answer will change.
Yep. Exactly. Well,
So yeah, because it's AI, it's adapting.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Skynet is coming.
Skynet's here.
Scientists. So here's this one's again. I'm an engineer guy, so I go look at the scientists will release 3 terabytes
Yeah.
of new UFO data in 2022.
I like that
No.
part, including 600 hours
Well, that's
of videos.
that's
But
all of it.
600 hours of video, right?
That's a lot.
But what if they're all 5-second clips?
Well, I mean, my point was, I'm like, 3 terabytes? Is that supposed to be impressive?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's like, oh yeah, we have a hard drive. Here you go.
Remember back in the day, all they could do is take photos
Yeah.
and write down stuff. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, 3 terabytes is a lot when you're considering Word documents.
Well, if you
Well,
think,
yeah, I mean, for Project Blue Book, sure. But you start pumping in 600 videos. Well, there's 2.5 terabytes out of the 3 right
How
there.
many kilobytes can the Bible fit
not,
on?
not if they're low def. If they're
Well.
SD, then you can get away with crushing them to they're not small.
Well, that's what I'm
We don't
getting
talk
at. They
megapixels
probably
when
aren't.
we're looking at these photos.
Yeah.
We
So,
talk at
but
single
the
pixels.
interesting thing is, right back again, they're looking at, data, the unexplained. And the problem is they aren't really delineating in these things which ones, we have, 500 incidents that are documented or 600 incidents that are documented. And, then we have the explanations that we came about. Well, then I really don't care about the, of 590 that you were able to explain away. Give me the 10. I don't want 3 terabytes. Give me 3 megabytes of the 10. Okay, that's all I need. Give me that stuff, and that's what I can focus on. Don't make me sort through your 600, videos, whatever, in order to find the
interviews with
4
Jim
that
Bob
actually
and
matter.
Nancy. So my question to you is, all right, so in all honesty, do you believe in aliens?
I don't think it's a question of belief. I think statistically, it'd be foolish not to mention completely unscientific. You can't prove a negative. You can't prove they don't exist. So you have to be open to it.
Just ask the Church of Scientology.
I'd rather not. So it's very simple. It's like you have to be open to accepting it. When you get evidence of it,
This blah, 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 blah.
I've thought about it for 40 years, ever since I saw my first UFO. 50,
Well, that could have been back then. They could have
or
been,
excuse me, UAP.
back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, and that could have been just a lava ball being.
The last time I was probed, I've believed ever since.
Betty and Barney Hill.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know. I do believe. I think there are. Because I was watching a story on a show the other day, and
Been here.
they talked about, the fact that now that we know there's more galaxies like ours.
Oh, yeah.
And there's more.
Solar systems,
there's
planets,
more.
the whole thing.
Yeah, there's exactly. They're all in the Goldilocks zones, just like ours.
Yep.
So,
See,
Okay, look,
but the
AB negative people, redheads, forget about it. We've been visited. They're here. They've been here all this time.
they are the lizard people. My thought is this. It's a lot more likely, especially now that we have our first warp bubble, which is pretty freaking cool. Did you see that story?
Made a warp bubble?
Yeah, accidentally.
And?
They were working on an energy
They threw
product.
a speck of dust through it.
And they happened to have a researcher in the lab at the time who'd been working on warp bubbles for years trying to build them. And they're in there doing this energy research. They're like, yeah, we just keep getting this thing.
Right.
And he's looking at it going, holy crap, that's a stable warp bubble.
We keep getting this warp bubble that we can't figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, and well, they didn't know what it was. For them, it was a failure. For him, it was his lifelong dream.
Little speck of dust accidentally gets sucked into it, and it gets thrown across the universe and kills a whole alien civilization.
Yes, there we have it, the butterfly effect. But my thought is that we are out here we are in the middle of nowhere. We are a speck of dust in the middle of the Sahara Desert as far as the galaxy, the universe goes.
Well, okay.
My thought is what we have visiting us are actually time travelers. They're coming back from the future on field trips. And here's the scary part. If they aren't going to mess with the timeline, that means that whatever they do here and now and us talking about it and finding out it doesn't actually affect the future, which means we're all doomed. We're about to have a cataclysm that just completely wipes us off the face of the earth, and they are what arises afterwards.
Oh.
And it doesn't matter what we do or know
And
right
on
now.
that terrifying note,
There you go.
actually, getting back to the show. I was
Yes.
watching,
Show?
they were doing the comparison of Stonehenge versus the potential Stonehenge on Mars, right?
Oh.
There's another one on there, and those are landing sites. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, if they could build a spaceship that can fly through space and do all that traveling, I'm sure the hell that they can build landing gear.
Well,
Why do they need stones to land on? They don't.
Maybe that was
why did they haul these stones 120 miles from the quarry in order to put them in this particular field instead of just building the landing zone at the quarry?
I think back then that was Land of Giants, and they were just some kid playing with shit and going, look at what I can do, Daddy. Look what I can do,
Lincoln
Daddy. Look what I
logs.
can do, Daddy.
Lincoln-
Look,
yeah.
Daddy, a village.
Stone Legos. There you have it.
See?
That is actually a far more likely explanation than alien landing pads.
Right.
Oy,
As much as
don't
I
even
wanna
get me into
believe,
Von Daniken's crap.
When you get into the whole landing thing, I'm like, that's just no.
No.
'Cause-
I mean, I love the fact that in Von Daniken's book, Chariots of the Gods, it shows this area at the Nazca Plains where it looks like these are parking spaces for spaceships. There's lanes marked off. It's like, oh yeah, here's the runway, here's the lanes. And then when you actually go there and you put something in scale, it's like this wide.
Right.
Those are really tiny spaceships.
Yeah.
Really, really tiny spaceships. It's ridiculous.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so this next story, you're going to love this.
Really?
Ford versus Tesla truck.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so-
That is an awesome video.
Okay, so as Anthony, even I have said, that when you off the line,
Yes.
an electric car
Yeah.
is going to take you
Yeah, it's going to smoke it, whatever it is.
because it's instant.
Yep.
And it's all right there. There's no ramping up. So
Yep.
I don't know if Rob played that video yet, but
No, he just showed
so
the clip. Here
so
it is.
Here it goes. So
Yep.
this Tesla just goes, see ya.
Yeah, I mean, there is no contest here. Okay? The Ford has no capacity to fight that thing.
Nope.
He just drags it down the road at full speed.
But here's what they don't show you. When that's all done, they got to go charge the Tesla. Because it just smoked all of its battery right there.
Was that a regular gasoline
Yeah.
truck? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could put a diesel up it. You could put an F3,
Wait, that's not fair though,
F350
because
Super
Ford
Duty.
did make the new Ford pickup, electric pickup.
Well, then they won't
Well,
go in.
sure,
they should have put a-
but this is to show why you should buy an electric instead of a gas.
Except
Okay?
you can't use it to haul anything. You can't go anywhere other than 200 miles away.
I was just watching, I think it was a TikTok, and a guy came up with a new car company, and I forgot what the name. It wasn't,
It was the Edison, and they all look just like Tesla vehicles.
was it the Edison or
You see what I did there?
it was the Edison, yeah.
Yeah,
Was it the Edison? or whatever?
probably because, Edison stole all Tesla's technology.
And
So-
it was the Edison. Okay, yes, I believe it was the Edison. He couldn't believe that somebody didn't take the name, so he bought it. He formed a company, right? But he's going to use diesel engines that push a generator that run at the perfect RPM that constantly keep batteries charged and the electric wheels going, like they use in construction vehicles today.
So it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
Yeah, it's a hybrid.
But it's just a general
Well, yours is a
diesel
hybrid.
generator.
Yeah. Yep.
Rob's is a hybrid.
I love the recapturing in the hybrids where when you brake, it charges your battery. It recaptures your kinetic energy. I just think that's so smart. But yeah, basically when my engine, when the battery's low, the engine comes on, it drives, and then, it just keeps going. And I get 450, 500 miles to the tank with a 10-gallon, 11-gallon tank.
Oh, I was gonna say with the 1011. I'm thinking it's like my new truck gets 500 miles of the tank.
Right, but you have a 28-gallon tank. Yeah, so that's the difference.
But
Cost me $30.
Okay,
to
so
fill
we're
up.
going to jump on something. Well, actually, it's still space. And
A
you know what?
moral argument.
So yes.
Disney should get involved.
Should Pluto regain its coveted status as a genuine planet? I say yes.
Yes, us old folks require it.
We must have Pluto.
We cannot finish saying my very energetic mother jumped screaming under Neil's porch
Right.
if we don't have Pluto.
Pluto's got to be there.
Pluto is the porch.
It's the porch.
That's really awesome. I never learned that one.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, I had a teacher. He was awesome.
That is very cool. Now,
We use a different
the argument is that,
Right,
if
correct.
we include Pluto, then it's a slippery slope, then our moon,
It was already.
it's
planned.
so dumb. I'm like, guys, it has to
Neil
be
deGrasse
something.
needs to stop talking.
It has to be something that is independently orbiting the sun and not another body that is orbiting the sun
what's that thing
that has had geologic activity. What's that?
What's that thing beyond Pluto that they're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe another planet.
Planet
Gas
X.
giant.
Yes, I'm totally fine with that. Okay, make it as long as it's orbiting the sun independently of any other orbiting object and has had geological activity, it's a planet.
Yeah.
Pluto has.
That's it. And that fits Pluto. But
Right.
they keep stripping out the part of, it has to be independently orbiting. So they're like, oh, but if you just say it has geologic activity and it orbits the sun, then all the moons qualify. Because like Earth's moon and Titan and Deimos and Phobos, and you get all these things going on.
No, because they're
It's
also,
like, they're orbiting another,
Yeah.
they're orbiting a planet.
own CSG.
Exactly. And it's like, guys, just add one more caveat on here and then it all makes sense and shut up.
Free Pluto.
Yeah, free Pluto.
Free Pluto.
Yeah,
Just saying.
which is probably the sequel to, from Total Recall, which is Free Mars.
We gotta be careful because last time we
Facebook.
freed somebody, we got COVID.
Point taken.
Free Hong Kong, and next thing COVID showed up, we're like, well,
Yeah, well, we were punished for that one. All right, what's next, John?
All right, so
Since
what's
since
next?
Pluto's now a planet, according to our board of experts.
It is. Intel shows research. They're gonna more computing power and beyond in the chips, beyond
Imagine
2025.
that.
You know why they're showing
Wow,
this? They're
that's
showing this
awesome.
research? Because they haven't done it yet.
Right.
And all of a sudden lately, it's been a whole bunch of articles about stuff that they plan to do or they're written about, but they haven't
It's
executed yet.
that they believe is now theoretically possible.
Right. But they
Yeah.
haven't done it yet.
Right.
Because they have to get some kind of like edge over on AMD and get some, enthusiasm about their chips
Right.
because they have nowhere else to go right now.
All right, well, so this next, so we'll get off of them because everybody else has gotten off of them, went to Mac
Oh,
anyway.
boy.
Ooh, even Mac got off on them.
Ow, ow, ow.
Just anyway,
I wasn't ready.
so the Democrats, I'm not trying to start a war here, so do not email me a bunch of crap. Democrats push racial equity audits to cement control of tech companies. And I'll tell you what, if this happens, this is some scary ass crap.
It is. This is terrifying because the having to submit to an audit every 2 years, which is analyzing all your business practices, doing racial profiling of everyone in your company, making sure that you have hit all of your quotas, but then taking it another step further, where they have been implementing these independent companies, which are generally loaded with Democrat donors and operatives, people of of previous administrations, are in here. They are actually foisting their own choices for who you should hire onto the employers. And say, well, if you want to get a passing score so that you're allowed to continue to make product, then you need to hire this person in this job. I mean, I'm not going to put too fine a point on it, but this is kind of what we saw in 1938 in a country called, what was it? It was next to France, Poland. Yeah, that was it, Germany. Okay, this is exactly what's going on here, and it is about, party compliance. And even to the point where they want the power to review any new products you have coming out to make sure that they are equitable. So that if you develop a product that may inadvertently be more popular for, let's just take the iPhone. Let's look at the demographics of who owns iPhones. And if they are not racially equitable, you won't be allowed to release the iPhone 14. Sorry, you can't have it. Well, you can if you put, Mein Kampf on it, then maybe you can go ahead and release your phone. This is terrifying.
It's somewhat overreach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's overreach.
I mean, into the private sector to do this. Look, it's bad enough that you got government agencies and schools doing this. Okay, but to reach into the private sector in our most innovative area that is leading the pack on improving human life on the planet. And yes, there's a downside, okay, with the algorithms choosing the stuff that is most angry, but what, Adam?
Oh, I was going to say, aren't they letting the employers, setting them up for failure? Because, it makes it very easy to say, oh, so why did you not allow me to, move up in the company? Is it because, of this or that?
Well, they want to remove merit-based hiring, firing, and pay raises from the system because that's racist. If somebody's doing a better job, they don't deserve a raise.
This also leads to the government going, you don't need to make that, we'll take that. And they'll make it.
Yeah. No, this is terrifying from more aspects than I can even begin to list here. And honestly, when I looked at this, I said, if you replace through the verbiage of this thing, if you replace the phrase racial equity with racial purity, you will then instantly see the issues with this because it is the exact philosophy that was used and employed to take over industries in Germany under the guise of, making them racially equitable. Oh, I'm sorry, racially pure.
Right.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yep.
So
that's that one.
Speaking of craziness, what is it? Okay, someone put this in here, the load remote images.
That was me. My latest phone update for the iPhone started coming through, and there are no images in my emails.
You don't need.
I'm getting the squares.
Emails are to be read, not looked at.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that's not actually it.
No nudie pics.
No nudie pics. No, that's actually not it. It used to be you could go in and turn it on or off because pixels, the Facebook pixel is a small image, and that tells whoever it is, let's say it's MailChimp or anybody, that you opened that email. Okay, because it opened that image, and that image then draws from their server, and it knows exactly where it went, exactly when it was opened, and exactly who opened it. That's how MailChimp runs their tracking, reporting. So if you have a MailChimp account, you'll see that 47 people opened it. It had 94 opens because everybody opened it twice, et cetera, et cetera. Here's who opened it. Here's where they were when they opened it. I loved it. I had a client who was doing a new online service, and he got an email back saying, I don't have email or the internet. Okay, and when I went, I'm like, that's fascinating because, of course, the client has all the email addresses and home addresses. I was able to cross-reference, and this person was sitting at home, opening their email, saying they don't have email or internet. It was their home address that came up. So, yes, there are issues with that because that becomes then a great playground for spyware, people wondering, it's a privacy issue. And so what happened was Apple took away the option to turn it off universally. Now when you open your email, right at the top it says, if you want to see the images, click here.
Well, Microsoft
So
does
you
the
can
same
do
thing.
that. Yeah, but Microsoft is an option you can turn on and off, okay, universally.
Well,
That's what I saw. 365 allows you,
Well, yeah, but that's,
okay, but here it doesn't. They've taken away that control now.
Right.
Okay, so that they're like, no, this is too big of a risk, and we don't think you actually understand how bad it is.
We don't
You
think
want
you're
us to help
smart
you with your
enough.
privacy?
We're gonna help you.
We're going to make it active that you say, yes, I want to see this.
Okay.
Okay, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that because it reminds me, because man, do we become complacent quickly?
Yes, we do.
I mean, look at, oh, gee, I've got this JavaScript that's been, sitting around for 8 years.
There you go. See, it all
now it's a
goes back to
backdoor
that
for
front one.
viruses. Okay,
Like how we
it
did
makes
this today.
people think about it.
Right.
Yeah, be responsible for your own cybersecurity. Click that button and don't blame Apple.
Right. So here lately,
Yes.
you've been getting this, I've been getting this. Facebook wants you to set up a Facebook Wi-Fi in your business
Yes.
so they can track you and everything you do.
Oh, no. It's so that your customers can come in and you can have a special, section just for them on your Wi-Fi router where they can come in and use your Wi-Fi without getting into the rest of your system. It's secure.
Set up a nice
Oh, but it's
coffee
totally
shop, start making
secure.
coffee, and they get to eat inside your building, use your electricity while they're at it. Oh, what the heck?
Man.
Oh, it's a
Yeah, it's so
wonderful
wonderful.
idea
No,
as
not
long
happening.
as
I can
you
set
don't
mine
mind
up.
being a spy spot.
Right. I already have my
not a
own
hot
set
spot,
up. I
it's
don't
a
need-
spy spot.
I don't need, but
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, who cares if,
Yeah.
if they're eating up your bandwidth or looking up on stuff they're not supposed to? Oh, they're
That's just
downloading
it.
torrents right from your IP address.
Yes, but that's where it comes through the Facebook and separates it from you. That's the whole point, is it creates a dedicated Wi-Fi network, subnetwork
subnet
for the guests.
But it's still your
But,
IP address.
of course
that
it is.
They're bouncing off.
Well, yes.
And now they're
But
tracking your
But the
system.
point is,
Once getting
I mean, obviously, Facebook can be trusted with all of your data.
absolutely.
There's absolutely
they're
nothing
just
they
so
would ever
trustworthy.
do or say or report to the FBI, okay, that you need to worry your pretty little head about, okay, where you were on January 6th is your business and Facebook's, okay? And so that's absolutely not an issue, and that's the whole point, is remember, Facebook, their business model is not in providing services. Their business model is to sell consumer data. So all they are doing is finding a new way to gather consumer data. Whenever you see anything from these people, if you are not paying them for consumer data, you are giving them consumer
Get
data.
your data from Meta.
Yeah, metadata.
Meta got some sale on data. You want it?
Yep. So that's all this is a new way for Facebook to gather more data that they can then sell. Because now it's location specific. People know they're in your kind of business. I mean, imagine being your competitor. Think about this for a minute. You have this set up. I'm going to serve my customers. I'm going to set this up. I can then go into Facebook advertising. I can go in the back end. If I find me, customers of AMS computers who have gone into that store and used their Wi-Fi. Find me their customers, and then I can target their customers with my advertising.
Hey, your competitors will be able to break down that algorithm a little better.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, Adam was showing me this other, but if your router doesn't support it, you can go buy another router. Just go buy another router.
Yeah, just go get a better
Why don't you
router.
give us a router.
Yeah. No, don't even do that. No, this is
right,
just
we're
a
gonna
way
jump
for
on
them to
something
invade.
fun.
Okay.
We're going to get off Mark Zuckerberg. He's the same guy that wears his boxers backwards, so the pee hole's in the back.
He's one of those guys that when you shake his hand's really cold and clammy and sweaty, and he can't have a good grip. Dang.
Lizard man. Okay, so web space telephone. So Rob put this in.
Yes.
So if I'm correct,
8 days.
it's kind of funny that he brought up this. I think it was Dylan that was telling me that they actually dropped this satellite while prepping it.
Well, another 3 months delay, guys. We got to double check everything.
So,
Wow.
Quite interesting.
That's buckets of
this
stuff.
thing is supposed to be like
This is going to replace the Hubble, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah. And so the launch date is 8 days out. Very exciting stuff going on there. And
That's gonna be
it's just
cool.
going to be a question
This
of,
loop sucks.
oh, yeah.
James.
It is.
Solar
It's
sail?
going to be cool. It is a really neat looking piece.
Holy
Looking
cow.
forward to seeing it deploy
I am too.
and seeing what we get out of it, because it'll be nice to upgrade. We've been looking at Hubble photos for 30 years now.
Which were absolutely amazing.
Absolutely amazing. So imagine now what we can do. It's like looking at the images from the radiometry in order to find that planet out there, the 10th planet, because we're now counting Pluto here, and it's like it's 30-year-old data. So imagine what we'll be able to find now with this kind of technology up there.
Let's hope that they found a better compression algorithm to send those photos back so they don't take so long over that radio transmission.
And we also don't end up with artifacts in the photos where you end up with Richard Hoagland claiming that the pixels from the photos are, cities and streets on Mars.
This looks
Unbelievable.
This looks like aluminum foil sails.
Pretty much. Yep.
How
Well-
long will that last?
Yeah, I
Because,
know.
Oh, in space? Long
Well,
time.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, what about the micro?
Yep.
Until that
micro-
tiny
micro-
little piece hits it. Well,
Well,
this
it's
is
Swiss
also
cheese within a
going,
year.
well, yeah, but I'll bet this is probably going very high orbit, outside of the range of most
Is
of the
this,
crap.
this is going into
But
orbit, or
even-
are they sending it out into the
But
solar
even
system?
in deep space, you're going to have.
I
you're
believe
have
it's gonna be
micro-
orbit. Well, yeah,
gonna tear that sail up,
but
ain't
the frequency of that is so rare.
Okay.
So rare. I mean,
You go out
the
there all
most
the time and
common
check that
element,
shit?
yeah, it's just out my backyard. No, the most common element actually out there is not dust and debris, it's hydrogen.
Right.
Okay, and it's still so rare and far between, you can't do squat.
That is cool, though. I got to say, I'm impressed with it.
Yeah, I
They
think it's
dropped
going to
it
be
just to
awesome.
make sure it worked well. They gave it.
Drop test.
Drop test.
Yeah,
It'll
there
work
you
here.
go.
It'll work anywhere. It's all good.
Yep.
It's all good.
And really, it just has the same camera that your iPhone 13 does.
It does. How did you know that?
I read the press
read the-
release.
you read the press
No, but honestly, that camera in the iPhone 13 is pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
So that's for the show today. We
Oh my
appreciate everybody.
God, we're
I
out of
know
time
it is
already.
flown by. Look at them all, how busy it is. I love
love
Christmas
it.
time. It's like this.
Yes.
If they'd stay like this
Yeah,
all the
see,
time, they'd put food in here.
We are
wouldn't
actually a
starve to death.
fishbowl, and we can see what's going on
I see,
outside.
now
in
I
the
know.
mall.
Now I know what they feel like. You're like,
The fish?
feed me, feed me, feed me. Anyway, everybody have a good week. We'll see everybody next week.
Yeah.
Everybody have
See
a
you
good
next week.
techie
Bye,
week.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
We got the plans cause we are the tech shamans. We understand cause we are the tech shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Cool.